All our dreams are already a reality that exists parallel to ours, and it's waiting for us just to muster up the courage to realize it. I deeply believe that everything works out for us and only in the best way. No matter what stage of our lives we are going through, I am convinced that current obstacles are the best option for us. Likewise, I am deeply convinced that everything we can think about is already have been done by us in the future. Hi, my name is Oleksandra and I'm a scientist in the field of philosophy and religious studies. Also, I'm a mindset coach who helps people to achieve a new level of results with ease and satisfaction. Yesterday, I came up with crazy and, in my opinion, very cool analogy. It will help me to explain you better why you should believe in yourself and your dreams, and how science proves and even confirms that our dreams is already our reality. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss new interesting ideas and have a safe space to share your own thoughts. They must be heard. So, for several years in a row, everything that happens in the lives of my friends, close people, everything that happens in my own life, when something goes wrong, I always tell everyone and myself that everything will be fine. Even more, everything is already great. I once heard that in order to wishes come true, you should write them in the present tense. Like, I'm sitting in my Bentley, driving down Hollywood Boulevard. Also, the same people advise to visualize the feelings that we will have, then our desire will come true. Perhaps it was this scheme that somehow postponed in my mind and began to program myself that each of my goals has already been realized at some point in the future. But I just have not yet reached it. But definitely, when I started living with this attitude, my life was literally divided into before and after. I remember times when I didn't have enough money even to cover my basic needs, and I lived in a small area in my hometown in Ukraine. I was not even suspecting that one day I would be able to travel outside of my country, that I would be able to have a high quality gadgets or easily make any of my wishes come true. Now I live abroad, and this year alone I visited Switzerland, the French Alps, Paris, Norway, 6 cities in Lithuania, Latvia, and my native Ukraine. Did I say about Norway or not? I'm recording this video on the new iPhone 15 model, and I wrote plan for this video on my MacBook. Once, these gadgets were just hanging on my vision board. Cool. In addition, in 2023, I tried boxing, kayaking, had hiking experience and walked 21 kilometers and even ride horses in the forest. I took a risk and started developing from scratch in new field, attended a book presentation, various events and concerts. I gave my first interview as a poet and learned Norwegian at a deeper level. That is, my life can safely be called full. And I've managed to implement everything I've just told you alongside getting my degree, working on my own research, and working a 9-to-5 schedule all year round. How did I do it? And why am I convinced that you can already have such or even better life? And every dream of yours is already available and possible for you, regardless of any circumstances around you. Yesterday, I found my own scientific analogy for why your dreams is already a reality that is surely waiting for you. And the answer to this, in my opinion, lies in philosophy and mathematical modeling. Now, I will try to explain my point consistently and as simply as possible. We can think only what exists or can exist. Our brain is simply physically unable to imagine something that cannot be realized or something that doesn't exist. When the brain tries to imagine something more abstract, like the nothing that existed before the creation of the universe, our brain starts to break down. It's too hard to imagine. So, if your brain can fantasize you in specific circumstances or the specific people, then it's potentially possible in our reality. And perhaps it already exists in a parallel one. An example of this is the theory of the multiverse. It is actively discussed in physics and philosophy. David Lewis, one of the most prominent representatives of American analytical philosophy of the 20th century, whose work significantly influenced the development of the philosophy of science, mathematics, and many other philosophical disciplines, noted that any possible world is realized because possibility and reality are two additional properties of the same world. Accordingly, what is possibility and what is reality depends on the world in which the observer is located. This concept is called Modal Realism. That is, everything depends only on the angle from which we look at ourselves and our own life. And if you just look at it from another point of view, possibility, our desire, and reality, our reality, don't cancel each other out. Any desire that we can think of is already possible in its realization. So it's already exists in parallel. And the analogy that came to me to help you to believe in your own dreams is precisely revealed through mathematical modeling. What is it anyway? A mathematical model is an abstract description of a concrete system. The process of developing a mathematical model is called mathematical modeling. Mathematical models allow you to predict the course of the process, calculate the initial parameters of this process, manage the process, and design systems with the desired characteristics. In simpler terms, mathematical model is used to, for example, understand where the planet is moving. You have probably heard how scientists can model the Earth from the beginning of its creation and project with computer simulation how it has evolved to the present day and where our planet will evolve next. Scientists also use this model to understand where diseases like COVID will spread. And also, by applying various mathematical models, it's possible to determine the dynamics of the sex-age composition of the population, the processes of birth and death, migration processes, and how the indicators of the number of the population will develop further. That is, look, there are not yet 10 billion people on planet Earth, but we know for sure that if everything develops according to the some indicators of the current situation and analysis of the past, then by some year this number, 10 billion, will definitely be the fact. Any event that has not even happened yet can already be understood by us within the framework of mathematical modeling of the future. That is, no matter how fatalistic I am now, the future of humanity can already be outlined mathematically. After all, for this there are all relevant values and physical constants. None of the physical constants can change. I mean gravity and other such things we studied in school. If any of these physical quantities were even 1/100th smaller or larger than programmed as a part of the system of our universe, the world would simply collapse. We would not stay on the ground and simply fly far into space. Do you catch this connection? Whether we want it or not, everything is already programmed, and our reality can be predicted by mathematical modeling. So what are our dreams for in this topic? Everything is simple. If you can think of something, it's already possible within the framework of our system and values. Just imagine that your dream is like 8 billion people on the Earth. Even 10 years ago, Earth didn't have such a population. But scientists predicted that by a certain year, we'll have this number. And indeed, on the 14th of July 2022, the official population of the planet already amounted to 8 billion people. That is, anything that does not yet exist here and now already exists in the future. If I can think about this, then it's already created. How can I be sure that my dream is already created and waiting for me? Just as mathematical modeling works for events on Earth that have not yet happened, but they can already be calculated and simulated in a computer program. And if you add to this more input from yourself, to develop in relation to your dream, to fix the attitudes that hinder you, to work on self-confidence, then the fact that your dream is already a reality modeled by you is simply undeniable. I'm saying the truth. Obstacles, difficulties on the way, that's what was and will be anyway. I emphasize, without the force of gravity that keeps us here, the force that is directed upwards, relative to the force of gravity and balances it, we simply would not remain on Earth. That is, difficulties, some contrasts, they are even necessary, so that there is something to build this balance. So, there will be difficulties on the way to the dream, but just accept these difficulties as something that balances your life and as something that is really worth the desire you are going for. And you will definitely come to your dreams, just as 8 billion people came to the planet. We live in a system where every process can be simulated in the future, so just remember this when you feel like giving up. Your dream is already realized in the future, and it's just waiting for your determination here and now.